You have $200,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account, and you call it financial security. You refresh that balance on Sunday mornings before the week starts, and something in your nervous system settles. For exactly 47 seconds, then the anxiety returns. That $200,000 isn't a financial strategy. It's an emotional prosthetic. Here's the diagnostic truth no one at your firm will say out loud. The higher a woman climbs in the corporate structure, the more aggressively she stockpiles liquid cash. Not because she lacks financial intelligence. She has more than most. But because she has learned, through lived experience, that her position is never fully hers. A restructuring, a new leadership mandate, a political shift 3 levels above her. And suddenly, the entire financial architecture of her household rests on a pink slip, so she hoards cash, compulsively, rationally, and the system rewards her for it. That is precisely where the trap begins. The banking ecosystem did not accidentally design platinum-tier savings accounts with preferential customer service lines and premium portal aesthetics. That infrastructure was engineered with one specific behavioral objective: to make high-earning professionals feel that liquidity itself is a form of wealth. It is not. In 2026, the most competitive high-yield savings accounts are offering approximately 4.5% to 4.8% annual percentage yield. On $200,000, that generates roughly $9,000 to $9,600 annually before federal income tax. At your marginal tax bracket, likely 32% to 37%, your net yield collapses to somewhere between $5,670 and $6,048 per year. Meanwhile, the 2026 Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks core PCE inflation, running at approximately 3.1%. Your real after-tax return on that $200,000 is barely above zero. You are not building wealth. You are running a sophisticated holding pattern, while your purchasing power quietly bleeds out. But the behavioral mechanics go deeper than yield math. The banking system has positioned cash hoarding as the mark of a responsible executive. 3 to 6 months of emergency reserves was the original institutional guidance. Somewhere between the 2008 financial crisis and the corporate layoff waves of the early 2020s, high-earning women internalized that number and tripled it. 6 months became 18. 18 months became a standing policy of permanent liquidity. The system never corrected that calculus, demonetized it. Consider what $200,000 deployed into a diversified, low-cost index portfolio in January 2016 would represent in 2026. Factoring the S&P 500's approximate annualized return of 10.5% over that decade, that capital would have compounded to roughly $543,000. Your savings account over the same period after taxes and inflation would have returned you something close to your original principal. You did not protect $200,000. You surrendered $343,000 in compounded growth to feel safe on Sunday mornings. That is the actual cost of cash hoarding, not the balance, the opportunity gap. Now ask yourself something sharper than comfort allows. If you lost your job tomorrow, would $200,000 actually change your outcome? Or would your professional network, your transferable skill set, and your industry reputation do the real rescue work? For most women at your level, the honest answer is the latter. The cash isn't a parachute. It's a psychological permission slip that lets you stay in a corporate structure you haven't fully committed to leaving. Because leaving requires trusting assets you cannot physically see and refresh on a Sunday morning. This is where the trap becomes architectural. The cash hoard doesn't just cost you compound growth. It actively maintains your dependency on the W-2 income stream. Because without it, the logic goes, you'd have nothing to fall back on. But that framing is precisely backward. The cash is the leash. The diversified income-generating asset base is the exit door. High-earning women disproportionately experience what behavioral economists call security anchoring, a cognitive pattern where the visibility of liquid assets overrides the mathematical superiority of a liquid or semi-liquid alternatives. Your brain assigns a risk premium to investments that don't show a real-time balance. That risk premium is entirely psychological. The market does not share your anxiety. Every $50,000 held in excess cash beyond a genuine 3-month operational reserve is not a safety net. It is what I call a liquidity ransom. Capital you are effectively paying to the anxiety of institutional vulnerability in exchange for the temporary psychological sensation of being untouchable. The liquidity ransom is unique to high earners because only high earners have enough capital to make the ransom feel reasonable. It does not feel like a loss. Feels like prudence. That is its exact design. Here is the institutional-grade behavioral shift. Implement a structured capital deployment threshold, not as a vague resolution, but as a written personal investment policy statement. The same document that institutional endowments and family offices use to govern asset allocation. Define your true operational reserve with mathematical precision. Calculate 3 months of non-negotiable fixed expenses, not your full lifestyle spend. Automate the delta, every dollar above that threshold, into a predefined, diversified allocation on a fixed monthly schedule. Remove the manual decision from the equation entirely. The behavioral research is unambiguous. Discretionary investment decisions made under ambient financial anxiety consistently underperform automated allocation systems. You are not undisciplined. You are simply making active decisions inside a neurological environment that the banking system engineered to keep you liquid and compliant. Your written investment policy statement functions like the architectural blueprint of a building. A structural engineer does not re-examine load-bearing walls every Sunday morning. The design decision was made once with precision and the structure holds. Make the decision once. Let the compounding do the rest. And here is what no one tells you about finally breaking the liquidity ransom. The moment you deploy that excess capital and reduce your visible cash balance, you will feel the pull to earn it back. Faster. More aggressively. You will accept the next high-pressure project. You will absorb the extra deliverable. You will quietly negotiate your bandwidth away. Because the psychological contract between your cash hoard and your corporate endurance runs far deeper than a savings account balance. That compulsion to earn faster has an expiration date on your body, and it is arriving sooner than your compensation package accounts for. The hidden cost of running your career at maximum extraction speed. The chronic cognitive load. The strategic career decisions you defer. The years of peak earning power you trade for organizational loyalty is a structural trap that operates completely independently of how much you have in the bank. That trap has a specific cliff edge, and most high-earning women don't see it until they're already in free fall. Click the video on your screen right now, and let's dissect exactly how the peak earning cliff is silently compressing the most valuable years of your career into a window far narrower than anyone in your organization will ever admit.